Alright guys, I hope that you can see me. I am in a continuation of doing some bluegills for an upcoming event. I am actually within my work hours. I am at work, so I cannot say how long this live will actually be, but it will be up for, of course, afterwards. The live will be put in its playlist. You can comment afterwards, or you can watch it and just kind of give yourself some ideas on what methods to take to paint your own bluegill if you want, or if you're just as they call it, doom scrolling, and you stop in and want to check things out. Of course, I don't mind. Hit that subscribe button. Of course, leave a comment, share it if you think it's worth being shared. So what I have in front of me are 4 bluegill that I had pre-started, but what I'm going to do is put these to the side because I want to hit 4 more as well with what I started with yesterday. The white and chrome. So what I'm going to do is put 4 of these. Oh my gosh. I'm going to leave that for now. I'll get it when I'm done. It's not water or anything, just extra loors. So what I'm going to do is drop these over inside of this to create my mesh. I'm going to do 4. So it's a total of, I'm going to be doing 10 in total, but because they're so big, I can only do 4 at a time. Once I get the scales down for all of them, then I can steamroll through the rest of the body. If you wasn't here yesterday, what I did is I started out, I painted the half top black, which for me is important, and then I went over top of it with the white. And on the gill plate, I went with the chrome. So that is what we have so far. I have 4 of those that look like that. Doesn't look like much of nothing, but it's a little bit of a process. It does take some time prepping and getting those correct, especially when you want a realistic look. What I'm doing off screen is I am locking them into place with some micro clothespins just to show you. Now here's another cool thing. You can kind of get away with messing around with what color you want the underscale shadow to be. So let's say for instance you're doing a shell cracker per se. And in some cases, some shell crackers come with the orange body, with the blue dots, all depending on what route you want to take. Instead of putting the black, you would put down your orange and then go over top of it with the different blue shades, just different methods for your scale patterns. But in this case, I'm doing a black to kind of give these bluegill a little bit of a darker look. This is a freestyle just off the top of my head. I have some pictures that I do have up on the wall, but I'm not going to follow those this time. So here we have it. All right. We're going to put some white out to start with. All right, we're going to lay down the white over the black, and then we're going to take the bluegills out of the scale pattern and we just make sure that this is spraying correctly. Yep. All right, I am running my PSIs around 30. I'm just gonna go hold on, because this isn't spraying right. Let's see something here. It's actually bubbling up. I had an issue with this brush last night before I left. Okay. Also, when you're spraying your scale pattern, something like this, you don't want to be like right up on the actual lure. Give it a good 2-3 inches away. Because what you don't want to happen with the air pressure being so close, if you put the airbrush too close to the actual lure while creating your scale pattern, it'll literally just blow right underneath and you won't have a scale pattern at all. And it is a-okay to have broken spots of scale pattern where it's like fine on one side and then, or fine in one spot and then it looks really faint in another. I personally think it gives the fish more personality, more detail, and it doesn't give it a quote unquote lure look where it's like a perfect scale. Perfect scales are okay on, for me, crankbaits and stuff of that nature, but when you're doing like a swim bait and everything's perfect, that takes away from the realistic look. Okay, this brush is spraying so weird. I'm gonna heat set this real quick. Yes, I am doing a base color. So the base color is black and white. So I think YouTube is still learning. Got you, you're welcome. And it's got these weird pop-ups. I don't know if you guys can see those pop-ups, and it's telling me like ask these weird questions. And the one question that just popped up just now was like, save the best bite for last. And I'm like, wait, what? I thought you said that. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? But that's YouTube trying to give suggestions on things that should pop up. This thing's messing with me hardcore. I gotta clean this brush out. I think I might have put too much of this needle juice in there. Alright, I am going to heat set that. And figure out what's up with this brush as well. Because for one, it is sticking. Probably just needs to be cleaned out real well. Alright. Alright, I'm going to heat set that and see how these scales came out in comparison to the other ones. Appreciate it. Yeah, I do them. I don't want to try to talk over the brush, so just give me a split second. Or blow dryer. Alright, so the goal is to get them to look like this. If you can see the scale pattern. Airbrushing some bluegills. So that's kind of the method of how I create a scale pattern. And once I get that down, everything else on the body paint wise is transparent, so that those scales can still kind of show through, and they're not ultra heavy. Gives it more of a realistic look. Alright, the big reveal. I don't know how that brush was spraying. I can't really see it. Okay. So what I mean by, is that still wet? All right. What I mean by the scale shouldn't be perfect. That's a like a good example of not perfect scale. So it's got like splotchy spots where it looks like an actual fish, especially after it's been attacked a few times. Some dark areas, some light areas. I don't want it to be perfect. That is something I don't want. Like I said, especially if I'm doing swim baits and stuff of that nature. Crankbaits, I do want them to be perfect. Unless the person requests it, then I won't. I'll try to imitate more realism. Alright. We got these four laid down with the white. I am going to do the next or the last two with white, and then we'll jump into the next step for all of them all at once. I am doing 10 at a time versus just one. These will be up on the site, and also I'll be selling them at an event and giving away some to the youth there as well. All right, so here we are, the last two. Yeah, swim baits for my website, and then selling them at an event. So what I'm doing now is just locking them in to my scale pattern maker. Alright, so here we have it, locked into place. I'm gonna kind of put these off to the side, just out of the way. Hopefully this airbrush cooperates now. Alright. Alright, so I'm basically just spraying over the black. Bluegills. All right. Let me just heat set this side real quick. Looks like it's sprayed out. All right, we're gonna hit the other side real fast. All right, and I'm gonna heat set this side. Swim bait. All right, we're gonna take these out and hopefully we get some scales on this thing. Looks like it did pretty well. Yeah, all right. Scale pattern. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Scaling the entire body for now. You'll see why later if you do come back, because this is a little bit of a long process. All right. Next step is just getting rid of the white. So what I do is I literally will go across the bottom from the front end all the way to the back just to give it more of a true white versus that bonish look that the lure comes in. You'll see why I do that in a very split second. In fact, I'll just show you real quick on one of the ones that I started yesterday. I do that, and then if you could see, there's chrome underneath. Once the clear coat goes on, the chrome really stands out. It gives the underbelly more of a realistic look. And doing realism does take a little bit longer versus your non-natural colors, I guess you would say. See how this one here, I don't know if you can see it too well. The scale didn't, I missed it. I won't blame it on nothing else. I missed it, so I have an extra piece where I can just kind of slap that right there on top and create that scale pattern there real quick. This was the one where the white was being funny when I first sprayed it. I could tell from the way it splattered his body. Four, three. Am I missing one? Okay, I'm tripping. Yeah, man. I left the area for a week. 12-hour drive. How you been holding up? All right. Two more. Hold on, because I can't see that part there. My phone is covered in saran wrap. So that little area. Oh, it wasn't bad. We almost got caught in some snow. We had to stay an extra day. And then I get back home and it snowed here, so that put a damper on me coming in and spraying on Monday. So I had a little downtime yesterday, last night, and I got some downtime at the moment. In the beginning of this live, I said that I am at work, so if I get a call, I gotta go. Alright, so we're gonna heat set all of those, and while I am heat setting, I'm gonna spray some cleaner inside of that so that it could be easily cleaned out. Yeah, see, I wasn't too far from where you was at. It was 3 to 5. We got a nice little pile up too, right outside of the hotel. Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you, man. When I do these floors, these big ones, I just I know it takes a couple of hours, and I look forward to them being finished too. I'm pretty sure it won't be this live that they will be done. Impossible. Probably be like 2 or 3 more lives realistically. If anything, if I was doing just one, I could probably finish it in a live, but you do the same. Alright, next step after I clean this brush out is to use some chrome to create the under reflectiveness on the gill plate and the underbelly. And the reason why I use chrome is if I put, like, let's say the green over top of it, it makes the green have a little bit of a flash to it. All right, let's clean this out. Bluegills, bluegills, bluegills. The white's being a little bit of a pain coming out of the bottom. Alright, the water is clear. Put the chrome in the brush. This step here I technically don't recommend. Not with the paint that I'm using anyway. I probably need to do some research on a better chrome that doesn't tear up the brush. This chrome that I have here is pretty rough, so I use this little cheap brush. It does come out pretty nice, if you could see that. Here's the company that I don't recommend, but I've been using it forever. But this is my go-to beat up brush. So when I'm doing just a base coat, this would be the brush that I would use. All right. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is just spray all of the front plate behind the eye, basically the gill plate, with chrome. I'm gonna hit all of that area with chrome on all of them first. And if it goes over the area like above, it's fine. Other hobbies. It's funny you say that. My neighbor calls me the extreme hobbyist. Like, he's like, yo, what do you do for a living? And I told him that I am technically a tattoo artist, and this is just downtime stuff. So I airbrush, I paint, and draw digital drawings. None of that stuff I actually I don't sell any of that stuff. I try to find a niche and just kind of stick with that and not overexert myself with everything. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is, of course, painting directly over the gill plate. I don't know if you guys can see it too well, but what it's going to do is create a scale pattern underneath the actual chrome to give that a bit of a realistic look as well. If you ever catch a bluegill, or any fish, I would say, and you plan to cook them or anything of that nature, you will be able to see that the gill plate does have scales as well. Appreciate you for letting me know. I can't tell just because of looking at the screen. Plus, once it dries, you'll really see it, because this stuff right here is really thin. So, oh, okay. right, so the next step is I'm gonna flash the white area, the side of the belly and the underbelly, with just a little bit of chrome, just like right where the white was, so right along there. And it's gonna create a reverse flash look. So the base coat will be white and the scales themselves will be kind of a chrome look. So I'm just going to take this little piece here and then just run it right along the bottom real fast. And hopefully you can see that there. I can see it. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm pretty sure you should be able to. All right. All right. I'm gonna hit the other 6. The body's bent funny. Okay, let me just flatten that out. Oh, come on, you. Time for some new helping hands. Over 10 years old, we're starting to fall over and stuff on me. One other thing, I also don't mind spraying the actual fin with the scale pattern because the fins are technically transparent, and when it's to the body like it is on this one, that also gives it a realistic look. Now I'm going to knock out these next 3. I'm not even going to show you guys. I'm just going to run through them so that we can jump to the next step. all right. Okay, last one. I need to retighten this one up. Oh man, okay, all right. Out of all the ones that I sprayed, this one actually came out really defined. I'll show you guys real quick. I personally did not want that to happen, but it is okay. All right, next step is, before we get to the next color, I'm thinking if I want to go with the gold brown body, or do I want to do like a colorful bluegill with all of the blues, pinks, and purples and stuff to really make it stand out. And out of all of the ones that I have up here on this wall, I'll show you guys real quick. None of them are truly super colorful. So, not 1,000% sure which route I want to take. What I am going to do though is I'm not going to let that chrome go to waste, because this little bottle is expensive and I go through it pretty quickly. I'm going to try to pour this back in there. Alright, got as much of it as I can back in the bottle. This is the fun part, cleaning this out. Because what it technically requires for spastic is acetone fingernail polish remover, something of that degree, and I don't think I have any here with me. I don't. I do have it at my other shop. All right, I think the route that we're gonna take is true sunfish color scheme. So we're gonna go with some blues, purples, pinks, and just kind of make the body almost like how I did my shad pattern. Bluegills also have that pinkish, a lot of fish have that pinkish, purplish, bluish tint to them. when you turn the body back and forth. So I am going to do it. The brush that I am going to use is a little bit more expensive than that one that came with the airbrush. This is a Sotar 2020 medium. Just making sure I get all of that needle juice out. So each night when I'm done, or each day when I'm done, I take some of what's going on. I was going to show you the bottle. Okay, here. This stuff here. I take a little bit of that and put it on the needle outside of the actual brush and let it run down so that the next day's spray is easy coming out. We're going to start with some pink. These are transparent, by the way. You don't want to spray a lot of this on here. Let me actually just test it first. All right, man. Turn up my PSIs. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray right down the center of the body, right above the actual fin, and between the ear and the fin, just right down the middle, real fast. I'm not going to I don't want it to be heavy, just real light. So that also this pink has a bit of blue in it, so that when I hit the next color, it would blend together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of roll through this part. I'll show you the last one. So my brush is stuck, and I'm not complaining. I don't know what the heck is going on. The trigger's stuck in a pullback position. So all I'm doing is just tapping down on it real quick, and it's spraying out like the perfect amount. So kind of getting shouldn't have said anything. 4 more from over here that I need to bring over. It's 10 in total. I wish that I had those meta glasses. Can you go live on those meta glasses? Does anybody know if that's a thing? I am in Pennsylvania. What's crazy is here, these lures sell, but for me, I've never caught a fish on one. But when I ship them out to where you're at in Texas and different locations, people send me pictures all the time. My last order actually went to Virginia and Florida. The guy in Virginia hasn't sent me a picture yet, which kind of makes sense. I'm pretty sure it's cold down there, as cold as it is here. Yeah, it's a nice steak. I personally wish that oh, I'm out. I could stay above like 70 degrees all year long. Between 70 and 80 is like perfect for me. Like, I'm pretty sure like what Florida is right now, if that was all year, that's where I would move to. But I'm pretty sure a place like that probably costs an arm and a leg to live. Oh man, jeez. Minnesota Vikings, that was my favorite team, but they just cannot. I don't know what they're doing, man. Don't even get me started. All right, so I'm just running out the rest of the pink. And that's what it looks like. Next color is the bluish purple. When over top of the paint completely, it kills the pink, but running it together or like right above it and letting it kind of collide creates a blend, and it makes it where you can pan the lure left to right, and it gives it that reflective look. I don't know if you guys can see it too well yet. Oh, it's 53. Okay. I got a friend that's down there. He said it was 78 last week when it was snowing here. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to hear that nonsense. All right, that's one down. So you see where it hit the pink with a purplish tint kind of mixed together, made some darker spots. That is a-okay. Alrighty, yelling. Alright, I gotta just sit these kind of out the way. Yeah, or I am, just doing all of the undertones. Five more to go. I'll show you guys on the last one. What that pinkish blue tint looks like. Right side by side. So you see the top, it looks like it's almost like a purplish tint. And the light that you guys probably can't see too well, those are reflective colors. So it will turn a bluish look. Did I hit both sides? I did. Okay. Last one with this pinkish blue that I put too much out. Or purple blue. Okay. I'm gonna pour this back inside of here. Then we're gonna add almost did something crazy. I was getting ready to spray this down in there. That would have been messy. Because this paint here is water based, it's a lot easier to clean. Should be able to blast through this part pretty quickly. I think what I'm going to do is go the green route on these versus the brown that I was originally going to do. I'm trying to hold my composure, bro. You're killing me inside with those comments. Oh, man. All right. Not 1,000% sure what light green I'm going to use, but I do know what dark green I am going to use. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see those colors. Those are the breakdowns. I'm gonna go with this green first. Over the top. Nah, I'm not 1,000% sure on that. I'm gonna spray both and see which one looks better. This one here is a true fish color. It's called a black nose shiner minnow. Required me mixing a couple of pinks together to get the color that I actually want. And I think that is the route that I am going to take. We're going to stick to the realism as much as possible. Oh, shoot. There's a lot of that left in there. How did that happen? All right, so what I am gonna do is not clean the brush. I am gonna keep that bluish tint in there, and Okay. We're going to go over the top of the entire body of this bluegill. From the head all the way back to the tail. Just above the ear. With what would be the medium green. No scale pattern. This is going to create a secondary scale look. I don't know why I'm sitting those up there. They end up falling, creating a mess. And I'm also going to actually spray down onto the eye. You can also hit the fin as well. So the scale pattern still shows through. Technically, don't have to worry about spraying the top because we're going to be using a dark green over all of what we just did. I think I need to take a night and clean my brushes out. Appreciate it. All right, I don't know if you guys can see this, but with that bluish purple pink at the top of the body that I went over with the green, it creates a reflective look in the green as well. I wish I had a secondary camera so that you guys can see from my perspective versus me just showing you after it's done. All right. Next one. Can you see the green on the chrome? So when I tilt it back, it gives it like a shiny plate look versus the top where you see the scales and stuff. Appreciate the sub, man. That is the goal that we are aiming for, as in why I put that chrome and the gill plate. Okay. My mentor who taught me to tattoo, which is 100% colorblind, well, still is, but whenever I set him up to do work, he always said to me, and I didn't know it until like years later why he did it the way he did it. So I would set him up and he would say, do darks to light, of course, but he said, please don't never put purple and blue in the same row. He said put blue above the purple, so like your cap, so black, purple, blue, and then your tints or your different hues of blue. And I'm like, man, I always followed it, but then he told me, it's like, I'm colorblind, man, I can't even see color. And I'm like, that's crazy that you can paint and tattoo the way you do and can't see color at all. I think he was messing with me, but his son said he was colorblind. His wife said he was colorblind. I wanted to mess with him one time. I'm like, nah, that's somebody's skin. I'm not going to do that. Put the blue below the purple. That would have been messed up. And as much as those guys prank each other, I am shocked no one did it. Like, you know, like in tattoo shops, we tattoo each other and stuff like that. I am shocked no one set him up to mess with one of the other artists. But he was also like a tyrant too. People were kind of scared of him. All right, we got, man, 3 more. Holy moly. All right. Kind of want to get to the next step. Oh, wow, man. Jeez. You never told her? And how long y'all been married? You ever thought about looking into those glasses? I know my mentor, he won't. In fact, his son got him those, whatever glasses you call them, and they're pretty expensive too. And he just refused to wear them. You know how you have those people who post those videos of them crying and them looking and seeing color for the first time? He caught an attitude, and I'm like, oh man, this is one guy we just can't win with. I swear, I said 3 left, and I feel like I'm still working on 3. What is going on? It's like they're multiplying or something. Yes, this is the downtime for me. So October, November, and December. I mix my downtime with painting lures. And then after this event in January, the fishing expo that I go to. I then work on rods. I make rods from January to about March. And then I am back on the water for the most part after that point. I'll take special requests from people on lures during that time, but I don't sit and do what I'm doing now. I am outside as much as possible. What is going on? Going through this paint pretty quickly. All right, so we got all of them hit with the green, pinkish color. I'm bringing it to the top so that I could see it. Got the reflectiveness and the gill plate. Got a semi-reflectiveness and the top part of the body over the blue. And up close, you can see the underneath scale patterns because this paint is transparent. So what I got to do now is heat set all of these bad boys. Oh. Kind of have to take my time spraying or heat setting this because if you do the high heat set, it creates a crackle look, and I don't want that. Not on these anyway. You need a swatch book. A color swatch book is what you need. That's kind of how I found out my mentor was truly colorblind. He has a little book, and it has the color, and then it has the name. Why am I blow drying a fish? Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm heat setting the colors to do the next step. And the next step requires the lure to either be, well, the paint needs to be dry. Yeah, man, you definitely got to get a color swap book. Actually, you should be able to just download one or just buy one at Home Depot. Where are you at? If you don't mind me asking, what state? Or where at in the world? Okay, okay. All right, so the next step is I want to start it. So I'm going to start with the 4, and it requires me going back and using this stuff here. This is a clear coat that is not designed for water. What I use it for is scratch proof, but it's you throw the lure a few times with it, color's literally going to come off. But whenever I'm going to like not be here for a while, or if I know the lure may fall over or something like that, I hit it with that scratch proof clear coat, because I'm going to put them back inside this, and this is where we're going to create our scale lateral line look, so it doesn't look like it's just a straight line down or a dangly line just going down from top to bottom. We're going to create some realistic scale lateral lines. These might be the worst Q-tips I've ever bought. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy some real Q-tips, because these were $1 for 300. I should have known to go ahead and spend the extra $2 and get the good ones. A lesson learned. All right. I do. The site is called It Must Be the Bait. The rods are not on there yet. I made some 2 years ago, sold out, and I ran into a couple of issues with the main supplier in Japan for the handles, and the price went up, and then I also needed to buy a house, so I had to put that aside. Between that and then the guides, the company that I deal with, they discontinued the guides. So I kind of like harassed the dude for the past 2 years, And I kept telling him, like, hey, I have the money, which I didn't. And this past year, January, I was like, hey, I have the money. And he was like, all right, give me like 6 months to get them made. And I called him back here in July, and he got them to me in October because he thought I was joking. He didn't want to make them, and then I don't buy them. So I told him I'd give him a deposit, and he was like, nah, you've been harassing me for the past 2 years. I'm pretty sure you're going to buy them. And he said the shipment was ready. Sent that joker $825. I got the guides. If you ever heard of American Tackle, their original microwave guides are the ones that I wanted. And they stopped making them. He said that no one was buying them. They're kind of hard to deal with because of how small they were. But I told him I wanted them. So he got them to me. Then the guy in Japan, everything was just falling into place, just like perfect. The guy in Japan said, hey, I got your handles ready. I said, good. Got those done. Got the rods squared away. And now I am ready to do those. But I need to finish these lures because that is what's next in line. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn my fan on. The, what do you call this thing? The exhaust fan, because this stuff here is really strong. Make it a little bit noisy. It actually doesn't sound bad at all. Alright, so I'm going to hit 4 of these with some clear coat. Yeah, but that purple is nice. I'm also doing this off screen because if I do it here, you see that mist? It's not good for anybody. But here's what the clear coat does. And here's the side that's not clear coated. You see how it doesn't have any like true glare. On this side you kind of can see all the colors coming to the top. I appreciate it. There's a lot of things that I don't know if you've been following or if this is your first time checking me out. This is probably the 5th or 6th live painting of lures that I've done. The last one before this one was a juvenile rainbow trout. And a really small lure pattern. I'll show you it real quick because I have one here. I have two here. No way, no way, no way. Yeah, so that's the small juvenile, and then here's extremely small. So that was the last set of lures that I painted. All good, man. You don't necessarily have to, but I appreciate it if you do. They are long, and it's live, of course. It's more of a tutorial for people who are wanting to spray something different or add to their arsenal of different paint jobs that they do. There's a guy, well, there's a bunch of people that I watch, but the one that stands out the most for me is a guy named Sonar Bates. He actually makes all of his stuff from scratch, everything. I don't have that type of time. Kind of gives you an idea of how they're gonna look when they're done with the gloss and the how the colors are gonna show up. Yeah, he's supposed to be sending me some lures once I get my PO box squared away. I didn't want to send it to the wrong PO box. Yeah, I checked this website out. Oh, you all over the place, Daniel. I can't scroll back up. Not right now. All right, so we got the 4 that I want to put inside the scale thing here. And there's a multitude of different ways to create this. I have a circuit cricket cutter, I think is what it's called. I've used at one point a comb. Let me see if I got it with me still. Alright, I don't have the comb. So what I have is my book. And in this book is my different types of patterns that I would use, or that I have pre-cut out, or when I first started I bought some pre-cut patterns from a guy, his company Systems. But then I started making my own. So what I actually do is I will put the lures back inside the actual metal mesh, and then do my lateral lines. The only thing is, guys, I have to get ready to go pick up my daughter and wife from school. I don't know if the one guy is watching. If he does, these are the things that I've had for years that you're selling now. And I was wondering if yours come pre-pulled or do I have to pull them before I order them. I spoke to you earlier in another video. I don't know if you're here now or not, but here we go. Pre-stencil. That will be the next step. It will probably be this evening, depending on if my appointment comes in or not. I've had a lot of people kind of changing their mind this time of the year, which is understandable. I always tell people, and I'm one of those tattoo artists, priorities first, luxury second. We can always come back to it. In most cases, if I can get away without using a stencil, I would. I would prefer it to look natural, but at the same time, certain fish you can't get away with no stencil. Trout, like rainbow trout, I can get away with no stencil. Lightning trout, shad, almost. Just the dot needs to be perfect. Or I could put the dot on there, but I want it to be symmetrical. Alright guys, so I'm cleaning up. I am going to get ready to call it. I appreciate you all for watching. If you are new to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. There will be more of this and other fishing related videos. If you are coming back and just checking it out, I appreciate you as well. Don't forget to share, comment outside of the live, and subscribe. I'll catch y'all later this evening if I have time, or I'll catch you tomorrow. Until then, peace out.